Hi, everybody. I'm Linda Brubaker, and this is Career Search Lunch and Learn. Welcome to the meeting that you really don't want to attend. And we know that. We know that when you're in job search, you'd much rather be in a job. But our goal here
Mm.
is to give you the coaching, the tips, the tricks, the networking, and the support to help you move forward into that next forever role. I'm a career transitions coach, and actually, next month I will celebrate 9 years in that role and 9 years of doing these
Mm.
meetings. My information that we present to you is based on over 30 years worth of experience in human resources from all sides of the recruiting desk. I've been an HR business partner. I've been an internal recruiter and managed talent acquisition. I've been an external recruiter and a hiring manager. And as a career coach, I have now gotten over 934 of the people that I've coached, either in these group sessions or individually, who've gotten offers. Our goal is to get you one of those offers too. So please share your information, share your issues, share your concerns, and let us help make these situations work for you. Told you that this is not a sales group. So here's my only pitch. My information is in the chat. Please reach out at any time if you want to have a quick conversation. I do individual coaching one-on-one, as well as these sessions, which are my freebies, my way of giving back. In fact, I see several of my coaching clients here with us today, and that's great. I do interview prep, help you with resumes, with your LinkedIn profiles and engagement. Also help you figure out what your career search strategy really should be and how to leverage those skills that you have for that next forever role. Pitch over. I'm done. Make sure that you add your pitch, your ideas in the chat so that we get to know you. And I'd like, Pam, if it's okay with you, can we have you introduce yourself just before the chat so that,
Of course.
okay, but please feel free to do that. I'm just looking to see if anyone else is here. Okay. What we're going to do, as you always know, we start out if you've been here before. If you're new, please put new all in caps in the chat and raise your digital hand. In addition, if you have a quick win to share so that we can support you, can hear how you got there, please raise your digital hand so that we can share with you as well. Do we have any quick wins that anyone wants to share? I see a couple. All right.
All right. Well, there. I had a couple quick wins to share with you. First, I had an information interview with a potential hiring manager last week.
Great.
It was just we did not talk about the job. I talked briefly about my background. I talked about what they do, and also I asked a question if they do artificial intelligence. I can't. I pivoted it towards I know about artificial intelligence. I showed them my webinars that I did or co-hosted. So we'll see. And later today, I have a interview at 1 o'clock. So I will be leaving kind of early today.
That's okay. The only thing that we're going to ask is that you tell us next week how it went.
I definitely will. No, this is I'll definitely it's more like a pre-open. The job's not open yet. What they're doing is they're doing pre-screening.
Okay,
They're making sure they get when a job is officially open, they get the right person and making sure so that they can hire the person right away.
perfect.
Instead of a whole formal process or have a job. They want the person on board right away.
Excellent.
So that's my quick wins for the past 2 weeks.
All right. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. Good luck. John.
Hi, everybody. John Tillett here. Had a phone interview with the company last Wednesday, and it went well because then they scheduled me for a second interview yesterday with the director. While I didn't feel 100% confident about the interview, I will say at the end of the interview, after I thought I'd flubbed something up, at the end of the interview, the director was talking like, "This is where we'd like you to work." So
Oh,
so there's still more interviews to go, but she hadn't disqualified me on where I thought I'd maybe made a mistake. So I think the lesson to learn is just keep going. Even when I think I stumbled, just keep dressing up, showing up, and and stay with it through the end of the experience. And so
That's
hopefully
absolutely right.
that'll turn out well. But that's my major victory. Thanks.
Perfect. And how did you find that job?
Um, it was a company I've been targeting, a company called DaVita Kidney Care, and they're headquartered here in the Denver area. And I had spoken to other people who said they love working there. So through their workday application process, when you initially sign up for one position, you're prompted to also receive updates like automatic email updates that will tell you about other related positions that are open. So they just kept sending me emails, and I kept responding, and I found one um, that I really liked. And so
Perfect. Okay, so I heard two things there. One of which is target company. Really important. If you've got a target company, reach out to them, try and find them, stay aware of them, make sure that you're letting them know on LinkedIn on their company page that you're interested in future opportunities, connect with people from the organization. Hint, companies are actually checking to see whether or not you're connected to other people in their organization. It's that silent networking that even if you've never spoken with them, if you are connected to X number of people, that makes you a more viable candidate in their mind. You're really interested in them and what they do. And then
Yep.
the other thing that I heard was that direct applications work, guys. Don't shy away from applying directly. Smart companies are going through their ATS system and either informing you of other positions or they're checking their database. And that's what ATS is. They're checking that database for other candidates who might be appropriate in those roles. So don't let that go away. Good luck. Keep us posted.
Appreciate it.
Sure. Okay. Let's see who's next. Damien.
Hello, everyone. Damien Christensen from Chicago in IT project management. And so my big win is that I've got a new contract. So I'm still open to long-term if anybody sees a good match for me. But I've got a contract with Siemens working in their product lifecycle management services division. So I'll be helping their clients implement product lifecycle management or Team Center for them. And so I'm excited about that and happy to go through with that. If I can help anybody else out, especially around project management, or if you're looking for connections with IT contract sourcers, feel free to reach out and connect with me. I have my LinkedIn in the chat.
Perfect. And you might want to put it also in our private group, Damien, that you can connect people to IT contract sourcers. Okay.
And just to let you know, I've been doing that that's been most of what's paid my bills for the past few decades. So I've connected to hundreds, literally hundreds around the world.
Yep.
Many of them are good in the States here.
Yep. And so the idea is we're sharing that information with others. Damien is working what we call a true portfolio career, building together all of those contracts to highlight his expertise and be able to share that information with lots of other people. That's really great. Congratulations. Which division of Siemens?
Their Team Center, so it's their professional services division.
Okay. I asked because I used to recruit for a division of Siemens, not that one. David.
Well, one good thing that happened to me this Sunday actually. I applied for several jobs at Nationwide Children's, and one of the talent acquisition members actually reached out, wanted to invite me to connect with him, so I connected. So that's something that's never happened before. So that sounds like good news on for me.
Absolutely. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Hello. Is it Catherine or Caitlin? Sorry, it's a heart on my screen.
It's Caitlin, and this
Yeah.
is Mew, who's decided to accompany me this afternoon.
As long as Mew's on your side of the screen, I'm perfectly fine.
All right. Best way. Well, and there is quite a bit of cat hair up my nose right now, so yes, I could see where that would be a win there. So a little bit of a win and a little bit of a question at the same time. I'm in this fascinating place where, as a nurse, I'm and nursing leader, I'm overqualified for half the positions and underqualified for the other half of all the things that generally hit my radar. But had a interview that happened on Friday that is actually feeling like a perfect balance for me, that went incredibly well, small team. And so my win plus question, if I'm allowed to, is that that interview happened on Friday. And I sent an immediate follow-up email, but I did neglect to ask, when should I expect to hear back from you? Or, you know, what next step would I be expecting to hear back? And I have a curiosity question of what's my next strategy for that one?
Okay, so did they not give you any indication as when that might be?
She didn't give me a when. She said that they were looking for a start date as soon as possible.
Okay.
And when we first talked, my interview happened 2 days after our first conversation. So I know they're looking to move quickly.
Okay, so I would wait until Wednesday.
Okay.
And then I would reach out and say,
Wait, isn't today Wednesday?
sorry. Yes, today is Wednesday,
So today.
right? So I would today or tomorrow, I would reach back out and say, you know, one thing that you really enjoyed about the conversation, I'm looking forward to speaking with you all again. Not what's your time frame, because time frame puts them on the spot and may make them feel as though they're putting together a date that they may not be able to stick with. But I'm looking forward to it. It's their trigger that you're still in the mix.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. Okay. I want to go through the next two really quickly because we want to get to our speaker. Okay. Ellen.
Hi, okay. So this isn't a great win, but it's progress. I had applied to a job online, found someone that I knew that had worked there, and I kept checking the status under consideration. And then one day I checked and it says you haven't applied to any jobs here. And I was like, what? So my contact got me the email address of an HR manager. I reached out to him. And lo and behold, I received an email last night that they'd like to speak with me regarding the role. So
Perfect.
I say never give up, be bold, and don't worry, just go for it.
Absolutely. Apply
Yeah.
directly. Double check. Get your contacts either before or afterwards. Okay. Follow up. That was perfect for that.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen, but we'll see.
We never do. But you don't know unless you work and you try it. Perfect. Congratulations. Let us know. Okay. Okay. Two more real quick and then I'm done. We have to, because we have to get to the speaker. So go ahead, please.
Okay. I'll be quick. I consider my win finding this group. This is my first time on here. I saw a friend had posted in LinkedIn about being a member here, and I took it to mean he was doing recruiting, reached out and said, hey, I'm looking to make a change. And he said, actually, that's not exactly what I'm doing, but come to this group. So I'm new here and I'm in the Chicagoland area. I've been a mortgage lender my whole life. Mortgages have been challenging the last few years. So I added an insurance license and the securities exam license, and I'm looking to pivot more into like banking or some kind of fintech.
We do a lot of work with people who are pivoting, so that's a good thing. Congratulations. Great. Welcome to the group.
Thank you.
Julie.
Yes. Kind of a piggyback about following up on an interview, which I'm going to do today because it has been a week. Just kind of to say that you're looking forward to hearing from them. But I've also heard that silence is the enemy too. So I'm still going to follow up, but I haven't heard it a week.
No, I wouldn't worry about it. People get busy, and HR departments, hiring departments, all of them. This is not the only thing they're doing, Julie. Okay. If you haven't heard, it's not. Could it be that they don't want to get back to you because they have nothing good to say? Maybe, but more likely it's just that they have so much on their plate that they can't move forward yet. Don't worry about it. Do the follow-up.
So do the follow-up later this afternoon then.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Thanks.
Sounds good.
Okay. All right. We're going to go now. Did we get everybody? Okay.
think so.
Perfect. All right. Just want to lower your hand. There we go. All right. We're getting ready to start now. And I'm so excited to have a friend of mine. We talk about networking all the time, and networking in my mind is more than just making those connections and adding numbers. I've been able to develop some really good friendships with people that I've never met in person. And I'm lucky to be able to say that Pam is one of them. And I'm so excited, Pam, that you're here to join us today to share your expertise with everything to do with networking and moving from here, from hello to success. I'm going to let you take it away, and then we'll go from there. By the way, Pam, I do have one question before you start.
Sure.
If people have questions as we go, do you want them to wait until the end, or do you want them to raise them as we go?
You know what? Put them in when you think of them, and then we'll pop through them. How about that?
Okay. So,
Okay, because I don't want to miss out on the end or misinformation as we go. So, and it's pretty simplified. So we'll
go right ahead. All yours.
I'll be happy with.
Share who you are and what you do and all that good stuff.
So I'm going to share my screen because actually during this presentation, I'm not only going to talk about me, but I'm going to tell you how to talk about you. So I want you to all use this as an example that you then take and make your own. I also just want to say in the beginning, normally, and Linda knows this, on the side, I would be asking you all to connect on LinkedIn, but because I'm presenting, it's a little harder. So I am hoping there are like 55 people on this, which is over 2/3 of the people who had signed up, which is like amazing.
Yes.
And so please, I hope at the end of this, when I check my connections on LinkedIn, I'm going to see a lot of your names. So that's where we're going to start. So I'm not going to do a formal introduction because you're going to learn about me and you're going to learn about how to make this for you. So today's presentation, and I'm just going to move you out of the way a little bit, is called From Hello to Success, Networking During the Job Search. And I will say I've tooled this really to the job search, but I feel that these tips are for any time, anywhere, especially when you are successful. Don't wait. Always be making future connections and future relationships. So what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about igniting your spark. It's really hard. Trust me, I've been in the job search. I get it. I know it. So you really have to show up with a smile, even though you don't feel like smiling. We'll talk a little bit more about spark. We're going to talk about using your existing network, which is, as we pull out of the Olympics, your gold medal opportunities, introducing yourself, creating new connections, moving on, following up, and I hope that we have some laughs. So if you laugh, you can put a little laugh emoji up, and I'm good with that. All right, so let's go. A little bit about me. Just so you know, I'm a Detroit native and very proud of being a Michigander. I've been an entrepreneur, a small business owner, executive director of many 4 nonprofits, and now I'm so proud to call myself a podcaster. So that's really fun. And you can read the rest. I don't believe in reading my screens to you because I feel like it's something you should all be able to do. And I think, Linda, we maybe met first through Innovation Women.
No, I think we met first through Brenda Miller.
Oh, okay. So we're both in a group with her too. That's an amazing group. So how did this little kid who couldn't even talk to anyone, whose mother sent her to nursery school so that when she got to kindergarten, she might actually talk to people, become the person who figured out how to connect with hundreds of people and speak in front of hundreds and thousands in a group? It's kind of it's overwhelming to me at some point too. So the bottom line is, here's my thing. I see something I want and I figure out how to do it. I figure out how to get there. So from my first job in a small historic town where I was invited to work, excuse me, in a bead store, through speaking and running programs through one of the departments at Hillel, at the University of Michigan, to 4 different opportunities and companies. So take some screen grabs, post about me. Here's my LinkedIn, here's my Instagram. You know the drill. So how do we go from that stack of business cards you collect, right? We've all got stacks and stacks of business cards. At one point I collected them in mugs per subject, so I could at least find them. You know, I do miss the days of Rolodexes. So I ignite my
found one going through my stuff in the basement the other day.
Yeah, we all find it, right? So, excuse me, I flew yesterday, so my throat's really dry. My feeling is spark. Start with intention. Prepare in advance. Align your message across the board. Mostly respect your audience if it's one other person or 500 people. And K for keep it clear. I'm all about being consistent, clear, and that leading to success. So the first thing I would say is think about the people you already know. Think about who you have helped in the past. That to me is your lead, Matt. That's your lead. Who have you ever said, can I introduce you to someone? Because then you can go back to that part of the network and say, remember when I introduced you to so-and-so and I hope it's going well and I'd love to hear an update. Well, now here I am looking for somehow, some networking and some connections as well. And then I would say download your LinkedIn connections. If you don't know how to do that, I believe that Brenda Meller, Meller, has a free tutorial on YouTube about how to do that. We should be doing that at least twice a year. I'm going to say for me, I'm staring at the camera. The most important thing is setting your expectations. Because if you don't set your expectations, you can't meet them. So, but what about people you don't know? At networking events, at meetings, at conferences, in line at Starbucks. I met with a new accountant a couple of years ago when I was moving over, and he said to me, I have a feeling your whole life could be deducted because from this conversation, I know you are always talking about work. You are always doing things. And I'll give you an example of that. I just was lucky enough to spend 2 weeks in Florida. Can't believe I'm back in Michigan. 2 weeks in Florida. But I reached out to everyone in LinkedIn and who I knew from Florida. And I went to the Greater Boca Raton Chamber of Commerce breakfast that had about 200 people at it. I have about 10 business cards, and that's fine. Those were people I'm going to connect with and I'm going to move on to. So you just never know where opportunities are sitting there for you. But I want you to think about, and I know I'm kind of plowing through this, so if you want, Linda, if you want me to slow down on a section, you'll let me know. But before you start, think about where you're going to be. Think about yourself and what you want to share. Always be prepared. And I'm going to show you my little quiver with my arrows of things I always like to talk about. And then again, I'm going to repeat this all so many times. Set your expectations. We don't have expectations and we can't meet them. And if we can't meet them, we feel like we failed. And the right things will get you to the right place. So this is where that little girl who didn't talk to anyone pops into my head. Why do people even want to connect with me? We sit there and we think, why me? Like, there's so many other great people. Why did someone want to talk to me? Well, you know what? I'm here to give you permission to accept these things. You're interesting, you're entertaining, you have something unique, you have valuable connections, and you don't even know what you will be moving toward in the future. And then I always say, you know, if you're out and about networking, have a signature thing. So lots of times I'll wear like a cute pin or a scarf, or you can see my Michigan, my gold Michigan pin. I can talk about that because I was given that by the governor when I traveled with him in a previous job. So that's a really good tool for me to talk about. And I'm always proud of being from Michigan. So I talked about my quiver of things, my quiver with the arrows of things. And my arrows are divided into two sections. And I think an arrow is a good thing. I was actually good at archery. 3 business things I want people to know about me, and 3 personal things. So you can read this, but these are things I already have prepared in my head. Who I work with. I'm very proud that I have an actual degree in communication. So I always laugh when people say, oh, you should go take a speaking class. And I'm like, yeah, my parents paid a heck of a lot of money for me to be able to speak like this and to communicate like this. And then I always share what I'm available for, right? I'm available to lead conferences and workshops, whatever. And then I also always have 3 things, personal things about me that I want you to know about, you being whoever I'm meeting with. And I'm not saying I put all 3 of these and all 6 of these into a conversation. No, I follow the conversation and then I know kind of what I want to add in. So I love gardening. I love all kinds of artwork, but I'm doing a lot of beading and knitting right now. I love being near the water. It's my favorite question to ask people. What's your favorite sound? Right? Everybody pauses and thinks. I know my favorite sound. My favorite sound is water lapping against the shore. And so that gives like such a different thing than why are you here? What are you looking for? Da da da. That all the other people before you have asked. So try and think of something that's unique that will make people think and will make people remember you. Because then when you're sending a follow-up email, you can say, oh, wow, you shared that your favorite sound was X, and I thought that was really interesting. You have set yourself apart from everyone else. Okay, I add a 4th. Usually all my things are in odd numbers. My 4th is I bleed maize and blue. I am a Michigan alum, a Michigan fan, and I love Michigan. Okay, so how do you make it work for you? Give yourself space. Give yourself that opportunity to figure it out for yourself. What one person's networking looks like and one person's success looks like is very different than the next person's. And then when I go to a networking group, I'm going to tell you what my things are that I want to do. And then I give myself permission to leave. Because, you know, sometimes you walk into a room, maybe you're intimidated, maybe you're nervous. But if you know when you can leave, I almost never do. But I know I can. And just knowing that I have given myself that permission really gives me that like oomph to walk in the door. So what is my measure of success? Meeting 3 quality contacts, not 3 random people, 3 quality contacts, visiting with 2 or 3 existing friends and colleagues, catching up and maybe whatever, and introducing 2 people to each other. That to me is success. I can leave. I can be happy. I can go home and sit in front of the TV and watch for the plot twist because I love a plot twist. But I've been successful. I almost always stay, folks, because there's always something good. But I don't have to. Oh, look, I've now been successful. So why do you want to grow your network? What's in it for you? And the bottom line is you never know. So this is a picture of me at the Ann Arbor Art Fair being interviewed on my 50th visit to the art fair in Ann Arbor. It's one of the largest art fairs in the country. And I was interviewed on TV about it. And now, how did that happen? Because I was at a crisis management workshop about 10 years ago, and I was one of the participants up on stage. And a person who left that firm and went out on her own 10 years later came back to me and said, I remember you talking about that. Are you interested in being on the show, on the local news show? You never know. She's been a great lead for me. And it was totally out of the blue. I was shocked. So now we're going to talk about that difficult thing of moving to the next conversation. I have a whole presentation about this, but mostly I want to just share it's easy. Move on. Don't get stuck. And here are 3 ways I do it. By, oh, look, the food's out. Let's go get in line. At least it moves you along. Introduce someone else into the conversation and break the tension using humor. There's nothing about when someone asks you a difficult question or something you don't want to do saying, oh, well, what about the game last week? What about those Lions? What about those Tigers? I'm very excited the Tigers are bringing some good people back. But it allows you to break that ice and move along. And then all year long. So I've given you those nuggets as we went about how to find things to keep talking about, to keep sending. But you need to be really, really thoughtful about it and not be a pest, right? But I have someone, they're in sales, they want me, and every time the phone rings, I know he's going to chat, but I know there's going to be something at the end. I don't want to be that person. So set a new schedule. At the end, I'm going to give you a link to something you can download that helps you do those kind of things and figure that out. And then just set an easy schedule for the new contacts and then the former contacts people. And then make sure you're commenting on LinkedIn. And then if it's something you really like, turn it, forward it or send a message with it. And then I always share, that's why we have 56 people on this live. Share what you're going to be doing. Let people know. Maybe you'll get a thing. Oh, I got a clap from Linda. Maybe they're going to, or maybe they were sitting at home going, I don't want to go alone. I'm not going to know anyone. Well, if you share out there you're thinking about going, they may say to you, oh, I'm thinking about going too. We live 2 miles from each other. Let's just go together. Going together is the key. And then also, if it's an organization you belong to or you want to belong to, volunteer. It's not in here, but volunteer. I almost always volunteer to do registration. It can be dicey when you've got a long line and all that, but it lets me meet every single person. Or if there are 3 people doing it, a third of the people coming to a conference, I can hand them my business card right there and let them know we're going to follow up. Like, could it be easier than that? You've helped the organization and you've created a contact. And then ask for someone to make an introduction for you. I do that all the time, and I love doing it for people. So that's something that always happens in my life. We're coming to the end. That's it. Keep moving. Keep going forward. You just never know when a simple conversation somewhere simple is going to lead you to the best thing in the world. So, and you've seen that this is my LinkedIn QR code everywhere. So that's it. Here are my contact details. Here's another QR code to download an introduce yourself checklist. So that's what I have to say, Linda.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay. Do we have any questions or comments for Pam? If you do, raise your digital hand. I picked up a number of things and I already see one. Okay.
Yeah, hi. Thanks, Linda. Thanks, Pam. First of all, I think Michigan's going to have a hard time in Champaign on Friday, but I'm just saying that.
It's time to put your hand down, Wade.
I know that, networking is supposed to be very non-transactional, but what other than offering help to somebody when you're not in a position, when you're not working, what is it what do you think the best thing you can offer the other person instead of them you always asking them something? What can you do to them other than just offering help?
Ask for something specific. Say to them, is there someone when you go home or when you go to the office tomorrow, look through my network. If there's someone you want me to connect you with, let me know. And ask for something specific from them.
Okay.
Say, what can I actually do to help you? So I was at a program, like an open house thing for venture capitalists about a year and a half ago. And there was a guy I knew there that I hadn't seen in years. And he said to me, I'm starting up this new business. I really don't know anyone here. I just wanted to kind of check it out. And I said to him, well, I kind of know the moderator who ran the panel. I just have to reintroduce myself, but she knows me. And then I did. I took him up. I introduced myself. I said, I really am here to introduce you to him. He's starting a new business. I want you to hear about him. And then I said to them, look, I'm going to walk away and let you guys talk. I don't need to be part of that. I need to go on my way. I've made the introduction. He's one of my testimonials on my website, on my LinkedIn thing. Like he gave me the best testimonial because it really helped him.
Mm-hmm. Those introductions really work. So that's one of the reasons we connect with each other here. You don't know who's in your network. For those of you who are in the group, I'm making an offer and I'm hoping that the rest of you will do the same. If you reach out to me and you say, you are a first or second level connection to so-and-so, can you introduce me? Absolutely. That's the whole beauty of LinkedIn. It's those degrees of separation, right? You can find by checking to see your second and third level connections who is connected to who. Ask for that introduction, okay, that LinkedIn DM introduction, if nothing else. They work. I've had a number of people take me up on it, not as many as should, but if you do, right, you get that introduction to someone else, you get to do that conversation. And again, once you start that, I'm hoping that they'd be willing to share the information and talk. It's not, do you have a job, right? It's getting information. And then the person who introduces, in that case, me, said, great, I'll let you two talk. And you remove yourself from the conversation.
Yeah. And I have to tell you, it's really flattering. It's flattering when you are able to introduce somewhere and that they've reached out to you. I once met with someone. I was having problems in a job because of one of the board members, and he was doing great in his position as an executive director to a different agency. And so we met for coffee. We were friends. We worked in the same building. And at about 3/4 of the way through, I said to him, I need another mentor. I just need to do better at this because I'm not doing well enough. And he said to me, let me think about who'd be good for you. And I said to him, oh, I meant you. I want you to be my mentor. And he's like, oh my God, I'm like so flattered. Of course I will. You just don't know. And he was very helpful to me, I have to say.
Good. Congratulations. But there's so many different ways of doing that. It's not too many people, especially in job search, think that you're reaching out to somebody you've never met before and say, hey, I'm looking for a job. What can you do to help me? Networking is more, in many cases, about those connections. It's about building the relationships. It's about giving sometimes more than you can get, at least initially. And I'll tell you, the same way that P was flattered about being asked to be your mentor, people are really flattered, whether you've met them or not, when you say, you're doing something that sounds really intriguing. I'd love to learn more about how you got there and what you liked, not, I want your job. Right? How did you get there? What did you like? What did you do to prepare yourself? And then the end of the conversation, what ideas do you have for me?
Right. Because
so
people like to talk about themselves.
Right?
Surprise!
Exactly. So that's not transactional. It's not asking them to give you something specifically that it would be hard for them to do. It's really flattering. People talk about themselves. And they become your unofficial mentor in that process. And it's a great way of starting some of those networking conversations.
So I said I was going to I told him this, so I really should do this. I said I was going to use my brother who's on this as a sample of what I would put in his little thought pieces. And I had to ask, first of all, I asked him for permission because I don't put anyone on the spot. I was really shocked he said yes. But so I would think about unique things, right? So if I were him, I would always talk about the fact that and I had to ask what level this was because I said, you're a grandmaster at bridge, right? And he said, oh, I'm way above that. So he is a sapphire life master. So now think about to be a bridge, he's played since college, but to be that level means your memory is good, your analytical skills are good, and you work well with a partner. So I have just named 3 attributes that he should be using in his conversations with people because of that title that he has earned. Right? I've never said that to him before. It's probably a surprise. But so think about other things you do. I knit. That means I can follow a pattern. That means I can follow rules. That means I can, though I always change things up because that's just me. But I had to learn first by following the rules of the knitting. It's like they say the difference between cooking and baking. Cooking, you can kind of, I'll throw something in. Baking, you have to follow the recipe. So so think about those things that are unique to you, and then what are the attributes that make you successful at doing those things that can then turn into something that you can talk about.
Exactly. Perfect. Thank you. Okay, next. I appreciate the fact that you guys are raising your digital hands. It makes it easier for me to find you. Lisa.
Hi, everyone. Lisa Pagano. Thanks for the meeting. This has been great. I was in the same role or same company for 22 years, and I did not maintain my LinkedIn. I thought I would be here until I retired, and that's not the case, obviously. So I'm in the process of reaching out to people that I haven't spoken to in 10 to 15 years that I worked with, but we were just colleagues. We were not friends necessarily. How do you go about reaching out to someone that you haven't spoken to in that amount of time is without looking like, reaching out and saying, oh, I thought we could catch up, or it doesn't feel authentic. Any suggestions on how I might approach that?
Be transparent. Be transparent. Tell them, we haven't been in touch in a while, but I value your ideas and your thoughts, and I'm reaching out now. That's okay. Unless you've had a kerfuffle. You like that word? Kerfuffle.
I like that word.
I know. It's one of my favorite words. I like words. Unless you've had a problem with them in the past or something, what is the worst they can say to you? No, I'm busy. Okay, you're allowed to be busy. But if you send something to 10 people, not all 10 people are going to say that, right?
Thank you.
So there are lots of ways to do it, and that's perfectly. Beginning of the year, okay, we're standing up through the first quarter, right? I'm going back through and, your name suddenly popped to my mind. Okay. And I was wondering, how are you doing these days? I know, I'm no longer with so-and-so. Where are you these days? What's going on with you and your life?
I've done a lot of fundraising things in my life, a lot of development work. And they always say, and I think this is something that replicates everywhere. When you're writing a fundraising letter, the goal is to put the word you in it as many times as you can. And never I or we, but you. Your donation helps, your whatever helps. And I think it's the same in the job search, like asking what you're doing, like Linda said, what, you've learned along the way. Those are the things that really, I think, make a difference.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. Thanks for asking. By the way, there are no forever jobs. So even though we want to be there for the remainder of our career, unfortunately, I don't think it works that way.
Someone asked me to share the last slide again, so I'm going to do that. I don't know.
And Pamela, you are going to be sharing the slides with us later for those who want them. Can I put them in our private group?
Yeah, so you'll be able to find all my contact information. But LinkedIn is the easiest place to connect with me.
Right.
And if you
I've already added your URL.
Yes, that's great. You know who you are, that's great.
Okay. Cindy, do you want to turn your camera on, or do you just want us to talk off mic or quietly? There you go.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just
no problem.
I don't have my glasses on, but anyway, what was I going to say? Oh yeah. So I had a question, I put it in the chat. Do you think is it best if you don't really know somebody, is it best to see if you have a mutual connection, or do you think we can reach right out to them directly?
I mean, I would always see if you have a mutual connection. And you don't necessarily need them to connect you, but you can reach out to them and saying, I'm thinking of reaching out to this person. Can I kind of drop your name into it? That, you know, that person like suggested I reach out to you or whatever.
So see who you know who knows that person.
Yeah.
You could, absolutely. The other thing is
6 degrees of separation, I guess.
Right.
And that's exactly right. Okay.
I'll give you an example. I once was in, whoops, I like got rid of my video. Hold on. I was once interviewing for a job that I really, within 2 minutes, knew I didn't want. And it was not a great interview. I mean, probably because I knew I didn't want it within 2 minutes. And it just wasn't going well. We've all been there, right? Like if I say
I
raise your
had one
hand,
last
well,
Friday. It could have went better. I think I could have had better answers, but then I realized I don't know if it's for me because it was all inside on the phone. I'm like, oh.
But you never
easy. The job was just, oh, 1-click apply. This looks good. Let me just see what happens.
Never.
You never know.
Never do that?
No. Finish the interview. You never know.
No. Linda said never.
Never 1-click apply.
Why?
Apply directly on the company's website. You get much faster results. You know that it's in their system. We know that often if it's that easy apply, it may not be even a real job.
Well, it was a real job. I did look on the.
That could be, but always go to the company website first.
Yeah.
But I was going to say, even if you're in an interview and you're halfway through or 10 minutes in and decide this ain't for me, you never know where the people in that room are going to end up in a year or two, right?
Right. That's why I said to
remember you. And so I was in this interview. I knew it was not something, but I saw that one of the people had a mug or a coffee thing for that had the logo for Team Alex on it. And Team Alex is a group in Detroit that rides for Make-A-Wish and other organizations in memory of this young girl, Alex. And so I said, oh, are you on Team Alex? I know her. I never was honored enough to know her. She was supposed to be a phenomenal girl, but I know her parents and I know like a ton of riders. I didn't want the job, but I wanted the connection. Once I made a connection with him, he was now on my team, because I had something in common with him. So I don't know where he landed up. I didn't want the job. I'm really happy I didn't get the job. I wouldn't be here.
I sent a thank you email to this woman anyway. I mean,
Right.
I was like, what do I say? I don't think I want the job. The interview went well. So I just said, a generic kind of thank you. Nice to learn about the company. And you never know because
you don't know where it can go. And there may be another job in that organization because
maybe. Right. I mean, I like what the company does. I think it's, clinical trials and all that. But I was like,
I need you to be in here if you're talking to me while I'm also doing a meeting.
Would everybody please put themselves on mute? I'm hearing background from somebody else right now. Sorry.
So you just never know where people are going to land. You don't know if they're planning on their exit and they're going to go, oh yeah, I interviewed that other person. It wasn't the right fit, but I'm in a different department now. I'm going to reach out to her.
Right.
Right. And you also never know who they know. So
Yeah,
always
that's
keep,
true. I
okay.
mean, I don't know. I felt like I should have, researched, tell me about yourself, which I usually have this very similar response, but I don't know.
Have your quiver and your arrows ready when someone asks you about yourself and pull out the ones you want to use.
I mean, I have the same story. I think some people seem to like it, but maybe others don't. I don't know.
There's a difference between a networking story and an interview story in terms of telling me about yourself.
Okay.
So definitely
Yeah.
something that we can talk
Short,
about.
succinct, and to the point.
Absolutely.
Right.
Okay. Always reach out. Always do those.
Because don't forget, they're not just interviewing you, you're interviewing them.
And
That's true. Yeah, I mean, I didn't really care for the woman anyway. She didn't seem the nicest. I don't know.
Then it's okay to walk away.
Yeah.
Okay.
But when you need money coming in, it's kind of like, oh.
Yeah, it's hard.
Cindy, it's tough.
Yes. Thank you.
David.
Well, my question was, you said you should share free business related things and then free non-business related things, or any could you give me some advice as to non-business related things I should avoid?
Well, I would certainly avoid politics today.
I mean, besides that.
No, I mean, you just have to kind of tool it to something that everybody might like or find interesting. So tell me, do you have any hobbies?
I like to play Scrabble. I also like to draw pictures of colored pencils.
Okay,
I
so
like
you're
to
an
exercise
artist,
by walking
you're
around my neighborhood.
analytical. Those are fine things.
Absolutely.
Do you like crossword puzzles? I bet my brother does crossword puzzles in pen. I just am not a crossword puzzle person. Just those are things. You got lots of books behind you. So apparently you're a reader.
Yes, I like biographies. I think biographies are underrated. If I was teaching English, I would have my students read nonfiction books rather than fiction books, personally.
That's your get. That's your hook. That's your hook.
Thank you.
And I would even say, if I were diving deeper, if I were having that conversation with you, I would probably ask you what your favorite nonfiction book was.
Right. Or the way you could do it too, David, is, if bring in your biographies. I love learning, what some of my favorite things to read are biographies, because I love learning about other people and their stories. Why don't you tell me yours?
Okay, my favorite biography is Steve Jobs by Walter Isaacson because of how wide a span of time it covers and how deep it is. If you're going to write a biography about somebody else, that's the way to do it.
Yep.
Now, my favorite autobiography is John Glenn, a memoir, which John Glenn wrote, accompanied by Nick Taylor, because it covers his whole span of life, starting from his childhood all the way up to when he went into space in the late 1990s.
So you just told me a lot about yourself.
Right.
You didn't know it, but right? You made yourself interesting. You separated yourself from other people.
Right. So
I know if we're in a business together and I need someone to do research, you're my person.
Right.
Because biographies and autobiographies, that's kind of more research than storytelling. I'm actually reading a kind of semi-autobiography right now.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So there are lots of ways that you can use that. The other thing is, if you're meeting with somebody, LinkedIn is a resource. You want to find something in common? You want to find people in common? Look them up on LinkedIn. See what kinds of things they're talking about in terms of their work life or other things, what pictures they've posted. Even if you haven't talked to other people in common, you don't necessarily have to mention them. If you're reaching out for a networking conversation, more than likely, if you're doing it online, they're going to look you up on LinkedIn too, and they're going to see you have mutual connections.
I wouldn't just look them up on LinkedIn. I try to see if I could find out about them on other sources if possible. Because if if I just look LinkedIn and they're out in other sources, I won't have a full picture of what they're like.
Right.
Right.
But LinkedIn is at least a good place to start.
So when you all download the little thing, and I'm going to put the link for it up in a minute, but
Good.
when you all download that, one of the hints I give in there is to think about what your best friend or close friend would say about you, as opposed to what you say about yourself.
Yep.
Because I know once I did that and thought about what my friends would say about me, it I know, right? They're gonna say I collect and keep friends forever, mostly. The last few years have been difficult with that. But they're gonna say that I will help out in a pinch. They're gonna say that I will be the coordinator of things, even though I hate to do that. And so, but they're gonna if you look at that like reflective way, it sometimes makes it easier for you to think about yourself.
Mhm. So all great
All right, well, that
suggestions.
helps me a lot. I'm really glad you made this presentation, Pam.
Oh, thank you. And I
Good.
hope you connect on LinkedIn as well.
Hello, Kendra.
Yeah, hi. Pam, early in the presentation, you said the most important thing is to set your expectations. Can you just expand a little bit? Is that like within yourself, what you're looking for a given networking event, or what exactly you meant by that?
It's wherever I am. It's specifically for network events, but it's really wherever I am. I have learned long ago not to expect others to do what I do. Like in a friendship, it can never be 50-50. Some of the time it's 60-40, but some of the time it's 40-60. Like I always say, I'm very lucky. I've had the same best friend since I was 14, which is pretty good since I'm 29. Um, no, I've had the same best friend since eighth grade. And so I always know that other friends are going to be good friends, but she is my solid rock, right? And so once I know that, I can set the expectations for other people. And my expectation for other people is I have a better time with them than I have a worse time with them. It's the same with a movie. If I like the movie more than I didn't like the movie, that's my expectation, to be entertained when I go to a movie, if it's a comedy or whatever, or to be thoughtful for a serious movie. That's my expectation. Did I meet it? When I go to a networking event, the expectation becomes very specific. I mean, I have to say the worst 20 minutes in my life is from when I get in my car to I get to a networking event. Did I choose the one where no one's going to go to? Did I choose the one where too many people are going to go to? Am I going to know anyone? Am I not going to know anyone? I can go through the whole scenario. Trust me. It's the worst. I have actually in the past pulled into part before I figured out to do this for myself. I have driven the 20 minutes, pulled into a parking lot, and turned around and gone home. I really have. I know you're going to, like, people are shocked if they hear that about me, but I have. But setting the fact that I can be successful if tonight I'm going to be successful if, and then I can leave. And then it will be success. It's still going to be successful. It's just going to be a shorter time frame.
Right.
So
And
I only need to meet 3 people, and I'm happy, and I'm a happy camper.
okay, so I have a suggestion for success for all of you for the next week. Pam initially talked about that accountability, right? We want to be able to do that. You set the intention and then you do it. So I would like you all this week, whether it's in person, online, connecting with people in the group, I want you to reach out to one new person and one old person. It can be a phone call, it can be in person, it can be a DM, it can be a voice DM, but one new and one old person this week. And you've got a whole series of people here in this room that you may or may not have connected with or have a conversation with. Now's your chance. In fact, so if you're willing to do that, I know I said we're not going to do just numbers or letters in the chat. If you're willing to make that commitment, just type Y in the chat right now.
Why for yes, not why would I do that?
No. Yes. Thank you, Pam, for that. Yes. Okay. Or me. Okay. Well, I want to see those going. By the way, speaking of the chat, perfect. I want you to remember that you can copy the chat. So there are two ways to do it. I'm going to put it in the private group. I've had some LinkedIn issues, but I think I've got those resolved, hopefully. Same one that Brenda had. My stuff doesn't seem to show up for me. I can't see it. But I will put the chat in the private group. You can also copy it yourself. If you go up to the top of the screen where it says Career Search Lunch and Learn, there are 3 dots. You click on those, it'll say Save Chat, and then you can figure out after the meeting where to put it. You can also do it the old-fashioned way. Click anywhere into the chat, select all, click copy, and then paste it into a document yourself, your choice. Please connect with each other, connect with me, connect with Pam, reach out with questions and ideas. I'm planning for the rest of the years, or for the next couple of months, not the rest of the year. I'm not that far in advance. Okay. Pam, you said you did your presentation at the beginning of the week. I sometimes wait until Sunday and what are we going to talk about this week, right? And so that I can do my Monday post about what's coming next. So
here's my thing. I decided to do like Monday motivational quotes. And so that's an easy thing for me to populate for the whole week.
Yep.
I usually post every day on LinkedIn, but that gave me my Monday free from worry.
Yep, exactly. So there are lots of things that you can do, but please connect with us, connect with each other, and reach out and let's get things going. Other questions or ideas before Pam, this has been fantastic. So can you put your link again in the chat for the download?
A second ago. You want my contact information?
Your contact information is in there someplace.
So I am typing Z intro, Zoom. Oh, it didn't work that time.
Good. So it's not just me. That was the problem that I was having this session. Completely.
So weird.
So I'm since
I did it wrong. My fault. Z intro for Zoom.
All right, try it again. Nope.
All right. Weird. I will cut and paste.
I'm going to reach out to some of my Zoom people and to Zoom itself, because that's a problem that they shouldn't have. And I'm going to reach out to Text Expander too.
Yeah. Because it worked the first time, but not this time.
Yeah. And mine isn't working right now either. It's working on a regular doc, just not in Zoom.
Yeah. So I will say, am I allowed to say that I also coach people one-on-one and do training if you're currently at a job and they don't know you're looking, whatever, and you think this can be helpful to an entire team, we can do something either in person or in Zoom. So
yeah, absolutely.
So that's what I'm telling you. Oh, look, I asked for permission and said it at the same time.
You know what? Sometimes we all do that, but yes, that's absolutely appropriate to say.
Right.
Okay. Any other questions that we can answer for you today? We're going to get a copy of the slides from Pam. She's willing to share those. Thank you.
Yes.
So I will put those in the private group.
Okay.
If there are any other questions, that's great. Otherwise, thank you all. If you have topic ideas, suggestions, please, I want to know what else you want to talk about. Now, next week, we're doing an open Ask the Career Search Experts, right? You've got a question, any question, fair game. It's the place to ask it, get answers from people who've been there, done that, get their answers from not only with their own experience, but from other people within the industry, everything that we read, everything we know. So no question is off limits. Please join us for that and share. We'd love to have new people join us as well. The other thing is to, let's see what else. Oh, and then the week after that, we have Al Smith, the hired guy, coming in about yeah, he's a great speaker. And he's going to be talking about how to make yourself, I don't remember the name of the topic, but how to make yourself the candidate everybody wants to hire, basically, how to make yourself memorable.
Great.
Okay. So I expect that one was going to be a very interesting one. What's it called? Yeah. Why should I hire you is actually the name of his topic. beyond that, please let me know either in the chat with the word idea, all in chat. All in caps, excuse me, so I can find it. If you have a speaker you'd like us to bring in, put the word speaker and then add that, or DM me. I really want to make sure that these work for you, and that's the best way to be able to do that. Okay, I am going to